Hi my dear students, hope all of you are doing fine. So in the last days we were writing the notes, right? Hope all of you have written the notes and send it to me. And if anyone is remaining to send the notes, please send it fast. Don't make me to write your names in the group. If I write the names in the group, everyone will see that, even the sister. Okay? So to avoid that, all of you please send the notes if anyone remaining. Clear? So today we are going to look into the next part of our first chapter. What is our next part? Computer memory. Yes. We are going to learn about the memory of computer. Do we human beings have a memory? Yes, we have a memory, right? That's why we think and also we remember all the things we have learned. Okay, for exams you learn from the textbook and notebook and you write the learned things in question papers. Okay, so we have a memory. Like that, the human computer also has a memory. Okay, so we are going to learn about computer's memory. Before that, I'll give an introduction. Okay. Actually, we human beings use any languages to communicate each other. If we either Malayalam or English or Hindi or any language that we know, we use that language to communicate each other. Right? Like that, the computer has also a language of its own. Okay, that language is known as the binary language or machine language. Okay, we know that in our language we have letters, numbers, etc. for communication. Right, A, B, C, D for English. Then for Malayalam also we have letters. Hindi also we have letters. And we combine these letters to form words and combine words to form sentence. Right, but in computer language, that is in binary language, it has only two numbers for its communication. That is 0 and 1. Which are the numbers? 0 and 1. Okay, they use only these two numbers for communication. And look, a 0 in computer language is known as a bit. And a 1 is also known as a bit. So, this is a bit. B-I-T, bit. And this is also a bit. Understood? 0 is a bit, 1 is a bit. As we form words and sentences using our letters, computer also form its language by combining the 0 and 1 in particular sequence. Okay, and one more thing, for a letter of human being, for example, a letter A, our letter A. To understand this letter by the computer, this computer needs a combination of 8 zeros and ones. Okay? We don't know its language. We don't know about what the machine language is, whatever it is. For example, if the zeros and ones are combined like this. Look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 digits are there, right? Zeros and ones combination. So look, 8 bits I have joined here. Okay, because 1 is a bit, 0 is a bit. Like that, 8 bits I have joined here. Okay, so a combination of 8 bits is known as a byte. What? A combination of 8 bits is known as a byte. So, understand this, computer language use only zeros and ones for its communication and so it is known as binary. Binary means 2. Only 2 letters they are using for its language. That's why this language is known as binary language. And that 2 letters or 2 numbers are 0 and 1. Okay, and the 0 is a bit, 1 is a bit. One number is known as a bit. Okay, so to represent any one letter of the human language, it needs 8 bits. Combination of zeros and ones in 8 bit. Combination of 8 bit is known as 1 byte. Did you understand? So 1 byte is required to represent one letter of human language. Okay. Like this, all the languages are, human languages are So you will get confusion how this get converted, right? So see, for example, for your easy understanding, I will give an example. If I know English and another person from any Arabian language is coming to communicate with me, but I don't know Arabic, then how will we communicate? Yes, we need a person in between who knows both English and Arabic. So when I speak in English, this third person will convert the English sentence to Arabic sentence and give to him, tell to him. And also vice versa. That is, when he speaks in Arabic, this third person will convert it into English sentence and tell it to me. Okay, like this we will communicate. This third person is known as the translator. Like that, in computer also a translator is installed. That is not a person, it is a device or it is a software. Okay, so this translator convert our language, that is human language, to machine language and give to the computer for its running. If we are giving any program for adding two numbers or anything, any program if we are giving to the computer, it will not understand our language. So this translator will convert our language to this machine language, that is combination of zeros and ones, and then the computer will understand and do what we said to them. Okay, what we said to it. And also the result, we will not understand machine language. So this translator will convert this result formed by the computer in machine language to human language and give it back to us. Okay, this is how the computer works. Okay, so actually the computer memory is measured in terms of this bits and byte. Okay, so a table is given in your textbook. Can you see that? A table is given in your textbook. Look. It's given what is a bit. Bit is the smallest unit of computer memory. It has two values. Okay. So we measure the computer memory in terms of bits and bytes only. How many bytes it can store or how many bits it can store. Like that we measure the computer memory. So we have many units to measure the computer memory and the computer language also. And the smallest unit among that measure is the bit, because it is only one digit. A 0 is known as a bit or a 1 is known as a bit. So it is the smallest unit to measure the computer memory. So bits are of two types, 0 and 1. Next, nipple. Nipple means a combination of 4 bits, that is zeros and ones combined in 4 bits. Only 4 bits are there. You can combine in any way. Okay, 1 0 0 1, in any way zeros and ones combined in 4 bits is known as a nipple. Okay, next byte. Byte I already told, a combination of 8 bits is known as a byte. That is a combination of zeros and ones in 8 bits, any order, is known as a byte. Next, kilobyte. Kilobyte means 1024 bytes, not bits. 1024 bytes is known as what? 1 kilobyte. That is, byte is combination of 8 bits. So this much, so 1024 bytes is known as 1 kilobyte. Okay, and its unit is represented by KB. Kilobyte, KB. Okay, next, megabyte. Megabyte is also, 1024 bytes is known as 1 kilobyte. 1024 kilobytes is known as 1 megabyte. Okay, can you understand that? That means that much the memory capacity is increasing. Okay, we are not saying about bit, we are saying about bytes. That is combination of 8 bits. So just think, 1024 bytes means how many bits are there? That much bits it can store. Okay, so the memory capacity is increasing. So the smallest is bit, 4 bit is known as nipple, 8 bit is known as bytes, 1024 bytes is known as 1 kilobyte, 1024 kilobytes is known as 1 megabyte, and it is represented by MB, megabyte. Okay, Next, 1024 megabytes is known as 1 gigabyte. Okay, 1024 megabyte is known as 1 gigabyte and it is represented by GB. Clear? Next, 1024 gigabyte is known as 1 terabyte. Okay, 1024 gigabyte is known as 1 terabyte and it is represented by TB. Did you understand? So, we measure the computer memory in terms of this units: bits, nibble, bytes, kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes and terabytes. You have to learn that table. It will be useful in your higher classes also. And if you are specializing in computer after your school studies, it will be more useful for you. Okay. And also, you are living in a computer generation. Right? So you have to understand the basic things about computer. You should have a knowledge about the basic things of computer. Okay? Otherwise, it will be a shame for you only. Because you are living in a generation of that. Right? Okay. So this much is the units of computer memory. Okay? Next, this computer memory is divided into two. Which are they? Primary memory and secondary memory. It is shown in your textbook. Look, computer memory can be two types of computer memories are there. Primary memory and secondary memory. First, we are going to learn about primary memory. Primary memory is again divided into two types, that is RAM and ROM. And this primary memory is known as the main memory of the computer. Okay, primary memory is known as, in computer there are two types of memory, primary memory and secondary memory. The main memory of the computer is known as the primary memory. And this primary memory is also known as the internal memory because this primary memory is already installed inside the computer. Okay, so you know what a CPU is. Okay, CPU looks like a big box. Right, in that CPU or in that box, many circuits are connected in that box. Have you heard about motherboard? When you open that CPU, you can see a big board. Okay, like this a big board will be there, but not like this. Many circuits will be connected in that. In that board is known as the motherboard, and in this motherboard there will be this primary memory also. Okay, so that's why we are telling this primary memory is known as the internal memory because it is inside the CPU. And there are two types of primary memory. The first primary memory we are going to learn is RAM. What? RAM. Actually, it is the short form of a long word. RAM stands for, or RAM is the abbreviation. Abbreviation means short form. Short form of Random Access Memory. Okay? Random Access Memory. That is RAM. And this RAM has another name. That is temporary memory or volatile memory. What? Temporary memory or volatile memory. I'll tell you why this RAM is known as volatile memory or temporary memory. Because in this RAM, actually this RAM memory is needed. It is a must in computer for the running of computer. Because when the computer runs, we know that if you are doing anything, if any calculation, 2 plus 3, so we will think with our memory, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Like that we will think with our memory. After the calculation we will not think about the numbers or anything like that, right? Like that, if the computer working, for the computers working, this memory is needed to hold the data that it is processing at that time. Okay, that means when the computer gets on and till it gets power off, this RAM memory will be working to store the data on which the computer is working. But when the computer gets shut down, that is when the computer is power off, what happened? All the data stored in this RAM memory will get lost. Okay, so this RAM memory is only used for the working of computer to just hold the data that it is processing at the time. When it is finished or when the processing is finished, all the data will get lost. That's why this RAM memory is known as temporary memory or volatile memory. Okay. Next is ROM memory. ROM. And ROM is the abbreviation of read-only memory. Okay. Read-only memory. And this memory is also, as I told, it is a primary memory. It is contained inside the CPU. And this ROM memory, actually its use is to just start up the computer. Okay, when we switch on the computer, this computer needs some instruction to wake up all its devices. Right. See, when we are sleeping and our mother will come and call us, we need some time to get energetic. Like that, when we give power to the computer, this computer also need some wake up instructions to make all the device come to its normal mode. Okay, that instructions are stored in this ROM memory, and actually that startup instructions are known as boot sector instructions. What? Boot sector instructions. Okay, you don't have to learn this, or you don't have this to learn, but you have to just know about that. The startup instruction, when we give power supply to the computer, the startup instruction that make the computer to come to its normal functioning mode from the sleeping mode is known as boot sector instruction, and that process that make all the devices to come into its normal function is known as booting. Okay. And this boot instructions are stored in ROM memory. Okay, actually this instruction does not need any modification once created. Okay, because this is only needed to wake up the computer, and we cannot do anything in this instruction. So this is already installed in this memory by the company manufacturers. When this computer is manufactured, already the software engineers means who are expert in programming the computer, who are expert in developing the softwares, they have already installed this boot up instruction in the ROM, and we cannot do anything to this instruction. Okay, that's why this memory is known as read-only memory. So we cannot do any modification to the instruction, that is boot sector instruction stored in this ROM. Okay, that's why this memory is called read-only memory. It can be any information stored in that memory can only be read. We cannot write in that, or we cannot overwrite in that. Okay, we cannot make any changes in that. So the instructions stored in the ROM memory are permanent. It will not get lost even if the computer is shut down. Okay, so this memory is also known as non-volatile memory. RAM is known as volatile memory and ROM is known as non-volatile memory. Non-volatile memory. Clear? So this much is the primary memories of the computer. Next is secondary memory. Secondary memory, you will be familiar with the secondary memory when I tell you about that, or when you see the picture. And one more thing I forgot to tell. See, the picture of RAM and ROM is given in your textbook itself. This is RAM and this is ROM. As I told you, in that motherboard, there will be a slot to install this. Not install this, to fit this. Actually, this will be fitting to that slot. This is RAM and this is ROM. Okay. Next is secondary memory. Secondary memory means actually they are permanent memory. That is, the data stored in the permanent memory or the secondary memory will not get lost in any way. Okay, not in any way. Even if the computer is shut down, it will not get lost. So the data stored in that, it will be permanent. And another advantage of the secondary memory is that the storage capacity of secondary memory will be very large, that we can store many things in that. Even if documents, or that is text documents, that is sentences, or then images, videos, audios, anything what we want, we can store in that secondary memory. So it is it have very storage capacity. And the information stored in the secondary memory is first transferred to this primary memory, that is RAM. I told you this RAM memory is needed for the computer or CPU to get function, to do any work. So any information stored in the secondary, if we are running any information stored in the secondary memory, that information is transferred from the secondary memory to this RAM. And from that RAM, the CPU take the instruction and run it. Okay. So that is secondary memory. Now we are going to look some examples of secondary memory, and the first one is floppy disk. You may not be familiar about this floppy disk. Some may be familiar. Okay, so this is a floppy disk. Actually, this floppy disk, we are not using it now. It was used in the earlier days as a secondary memory storage. Okay, and it can store 1.44 MB of data in it. Okay, then this floppy disk is actually made of plastic, and in that plastic magnetic particles are coated in that plastic. Look, this secondary memory, floppy disk, this all part is made of plastic, and in this plastic, inside that, some magnetic particles are coated in that, and all the data is stored in this magnetic particle. Okay, and so a floppy disk should not be placed near a magnet. When it is placed near a magnet, the data stored in this magnetic particle will get lost. Okay, then this floppy disk actually comes in sizes from 3.5 inches and actually two sizes only there, 3.5 inches and 5.25 inches. In this, commonly used floppy disk are of 3.5 inches. Okay, that is floppy disk. But the disadvantage of floppy disk is that, as we told, only 1.44 megabytes of data can only be stored in floppy disk. It is a small amount to store, or small storage capacity. That is the disadvantage of floppy disk. So the next secondary storage is hard disk. Some of you have seen this hard disk. Actually, this hard disk is contained in the computer itself. So we cannot tell it as internal memory, but it is an internal memory too. Okay, so have you seen when you open the computer, if you have a computer system, you can just check it. If you open the computer system, on the computer system, and you can see My Computer, an application called My Computer or Just Computer, like that, an application will be there. When you open that, there will be like this, C drive, D drive, like this, some drives will be there. These drives are known as hard disk. Okay, hard disk drives. That is, hard disk is a secondary storage device. It has a high capacity, high storage capacity. It can store large amount of data and informations. Okay, that is hard disk. Hard disk is in the shape of this shown in your textbook. Clear? And look, in this, actually this is a box. This is the outer covering of the hard disk. Inside this, actually spindle will be there. Like, spindle means suppose a stick is there and you are placing some CDs. Okay, for example, CDs. Take CD, you know what a CD is or DVD is, and place a stick, and in that we are arranging CDs top, one by one on top, and it will form a what? A group of CDs. Like this, hard disk is manufactured, or hard disk is made in this box. Inside this box, hard disk is placed like that. Okay, this CDs, or it is in the form of small CDs, and that CDs are known as platers. What? Platers. P-L-A-T-T-E-R-S. Platers. So small, it looks like a CD actually, and it is very small in size, and it is placed on top, one by one on top, inside a stick. Okay, in the middle a stick is there, and that stick is known as spindle. That stick is known as spindle. Okay. And in this platters, on both side of the platters, we can record or we can store informations or data, and there will be a read or write head to read all the data stored in that. Look, this platters, I told you, it will be in the form of CD, a round shape, and there will be a small hole. What is this hole for? Yes, to put on that spindle. Then this platters are divided into tracks. Tracks means, look, lines drawn like this. This is divided like this. Can you see? Okay. So this is known as track. This is one track, two track, third track, fourth, five, six. Like this, it is divided into tracks. And again, this tracks is divided into sectors. Sectors means circular shape. Sectors comes in circular shape. Did you understand? So, these are tracks and sectors. And look, if you are considering this sector, where is the sector? In the first, look, in this track, one sector is there. If I am drawing only this sector, it will be in the form of like this. Right? This is one sector. Clear? And in each sector, we are storing the informations.